issues, and I wondered if he has any questions that you'd like to address to him. Yes.
I was wondering whether you went ahead and explored what fostered the cohesiveness in one particular group. And then you've also indicated that one particular student was terribly bored with the blogging. And so what might be the reasons for that?
If I go to the cohesiveness in the one particular group, well, as was said, we had a big limitation of time on this, so something we didn't really explore fully. But the fact that perhaps it was the bigger of the two groups. So I'm not sure how to answer this.
They're friends from the same country.
Yeah, there's perhaps a few in that group. Although there was quite a big nationality mix within the group of probably 5 or 6 nationalities among the 12 students. There were 2 or 3 groups of 3 who all got on really well, but at the same time were willing to mix up within the group. So I'm not really answering your question on that, but
that's what I was thinking about. It could be that there were friends already, existing friends in that particular group.
Could be.
And maybe the other group didn't have those.
Could be. An issue with the other group, there were several of them that were part-time students, so they weren't there every day, so there wasn't the same opportunity to create that cohesiveness within the group. But there was a really noticeable difference with the way things worked. And the other part of the question about the board, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, perhaps because this student, she said that she doesn't like to share about her feeling and her stuff on the blog. Yeah, and the other one is like she prefers to do it in her own language. Yeah, that's what she said.
Okay.
I guess that saying well that certain activity type, not everybody's going to like every type of activity, I guess.
Yeah, I'm interested in the teacher involvement with the blogging, because I've done blogs when I've looked at learner reflection, and I find I have to get involved to sort of keep the momentum of the blogs going sometimes, and I can understand why the teacher's involved. But I suppose if we're trying to develop a culture of autonomy, where does the teacher involvement stop to enable that autonomy to be there? You know, it's a bit of a contradiction, so I just wonder where we draw the line. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I guess it's a case of gradual withdrawal. And that's we were only in the class for 3 weeks. You know, 3 times we visited, so we didn't get a chance to explore the longer term. But the actual initial setting up of that second blog worked really well. I think, would you agree, primarily because of that teacher's involvement initially. So I fully agree, the teacher has got to gradually withdraw, but initially, from what we've, at least based on our data, it was clear that the teacher needed to be very involved at the beginning. But I kind of take your point. There is a contradiction of learner autonomy, but it needs a lot of teacher involvement, yes.
Not that that's a bad thing, though.
No.
It's just, you know, when we're dealing with definitions of autonomy, that's all.
Yes, I just wonder, actually, if you're talking about the regular teaching and we have these low ability groups in the class, what degree of autonomy can we have in those classes where there are low ability students? I always wonder that.
I would kind of agree with what you're saying in that the opportunities for autonomy tend to be less with lower levels. We'll get to you, don't worry, we'll get to you. Tend to be, don't cut her off. There are less opportunities with lower levels. I agree. I'm not much more to say, but there are still opportunities, just less of them.
I was going to say low-level autonomy is my research area.
Oh. Go ahead.
And I've looked at material, and if you look at what Nolan said and what Charlotte Strasberg said, as you were saying as well, there are degrees of autonomy, and it's not necessarily a linear progression, but students and teachers and everybody else fluctuate between the very initial stages to very autonomous. And a student who maybe is autonomous at one point can then come back to being very dependent on the teacher, and it's for them to recognise where they are. But with lower levels, there are plenty of opportunities to be autonomous within the classroom. Because I think we've been discussing, it's not just in terms of strategies, it's also relating the learning to themselves, getting involved in it. So if you're following a course book, you can relate those activities to the student's individual needs. You can kind of work with the course book rather than from the course book, and you can devise activities where the students are having to think for themselves, like simple matching jigsaw text, matching words with definitions, matching words with pictures. That is in fact autonomous learning, because if you've given them a picture and a word, and you've just said, right, match them, they're learning by themselves. And then you come in as a teacher and say, yeah, no, are you sure? What do you think? And they're actually in charge of the learning. You're not saying, oh, look, this is a dog, woof, woof. It's a basic level. They've actually put the picture of a dog and the words dog together themselves. So that is autonomous. It's basic level, but it is. So, yeah.
Probably got time for one brief question, if anyone would like to ask one or answer or make a comment. No? Okay, well thank you very much, and thank you once again for your presentation.